Hey everybody, we're here for a new episode of the show that has yet to be named. Today we're talking top 5 2010s is comedy sitcoms. Sorry, this is the end of our series for this until we find a new subject to go through decade by decade. But I'm here with Puttyman, plug away.
Gamer Potheads, Google it.
Johnny Donuts, plug away.
Johnnydonuts777.
And I'm going to plug in my phone. So we're just
gonna plug the kitchen sink.
We're gonna go 555-444-3332-111 through the list. If you just came for the list, we'll do the list first. So the criteria is a little bit flippy floppy, but 3 seasons have to be the first 3 seasons or the last 4 seasons. No British sitcoms, no animated shows, and that's it. So I'm going to go first because I never go first.
Okay.
So at number 5, I have a tie, a full caps fashion. I got 2 ties. I have Eastbound and Down and Workaholics.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about Workaholics.
Yeah.
You're not getting it.
I'll put in honorable mentions, though.
It isn't. Yeah, that's in my honorable mentions.
Okay. Am I next? Who's going next?
We're not going to jump the gun like we did on the Joker.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why I went for you, John.
Buddy, go next. For me, this is clockwise.
So for number 5, it's tied. It's Trailer Park Boys, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
All right, that's a terrible tie.
Okay. My number 5 is New Girl.
Okay, that's fair. That's a. All right, my number 4 is a tie again. Community and Parks and Recreation.
Okay, my number 4 is Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
My number 4 is The Goldbergs.
My number 3 is Schitt's Creek.
Okay, my number 3 is The Big Bang Theory.
My number 3 is Two Broke Girls.
My number 2 is Trailer Park Boys.
My number 2 is 30 Rock.
My number 2 is Community.
My number 1, the greatest show of all time, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
My number 1 is actually Community.
My number 1 is Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
All right, so I'll go through mine quick here. I got number 5, Eastbound and Down, Workaholics. Number 4, Community, Parks and Rec. Number 3, Schitt's Creek. Number 2, Trailer Park Boys. Number 1, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
My number 5 is Trailer Park Boys, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Number 4, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Number 3, The Big Bang Theory. Number 2, 30 Rock. And number 1, Community.
For me, it's number 5, New Girl. Number 4, The Goldbergs. Number 3 is Two Broke Girls. Number 2 is Community. And number 1 is Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay, so I just want to start off. Well, if you came for the list, that's a list. List. Okay, that's my new thing. I just say things.
Say it now.
So can I jump in there? Because I can't.
No, you can. I'm going first.
He's going first. It's his show.
It's my. I never get to go first. I'm going first. My immediate, number 6 spot was a tie that I decided at the last minute to take both of these shows out instead of having 100 ties on my list, and it was Brooklyn Nine-Nine and oh crap, what was this? One of the shows? Oh, and New Girl. New Girl is so good. It's the only downfall in it to me is the second last season slowly starts to become about the relationships that they're having and not about the funness between the people. And then season 7 is so completely rushed to get to a conclusion, and I hated it. It
fell off the cliff at the end.
I waited 5 years to watch the last season because I didn't want it to end because I loved that show so much. And then I watched it, and I was so mad after I watched it.
Yeah, that's why it's at the bottom of my top 5. I didn't watch a lot of sitcoms in the 2010s, so that was one of the few that I did watch.
And Brooklyn Nine-Nine for me has slowly been tapering off since after season 4. It's just been continuously slowing down for me. Yeah. I mean, it's still a great show, but it's not the same. Okay, Putty, I know you wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
You can go.
That's fine. Well, no, the thing is there's 2 things. One, I almost had The Office at number 5 as well. I couldn't decide with the 3. I actually forgot about The Goldbergs. It drives me crazy that I forgot about that show because I still have it on my Hulu. Whenever there's a new episode, I have to watch it. It reminds me of my childhood. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why I'm kind of mad I didn't put it on there. But yeah, so like there's other shows when we get to I'll mention but we'll get to those afterwards. But yeah, that between The Office and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, those two were just so hard to put at 5. And honestly, Trailer Park Boys was more of a newer thing. Your brother, John, was actually the one that introduced me to it, even though I heard about it. And I said, I'm going to watch it. And now it's like I actually will put it on and fall asleep to it because I love it so much.
Well, I actually have a couple of Canadian shows on here because I count Schitt's Creek as a Canadian show.
It is.
Trailer Park Boys is on here, and I'll get to the other ones after.
But
for me, Trailer Park Boys, their best seasons were in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
I agree with that. But like I said, I had no place for it on my other list. So because it still carried over to this one, I cheated and brought it to this.
But decade. I did like when Snoop Dogg, when they were doing the whole thing with the weed with Snoop Dogg, that I actually liked. And I don't think
the first 3 seasons of the revival were really well done. The last 2 were terrible.
Yeah, but R.I.P. Jim Leahy.
Yeah, I know. Well, they tried to continue with the animated, but that's even another whole.
You look like you blew a Smurf.
But I've not actually seen The New Girl, and it's not because I don't want to. It's just time. You know what I mean? So
to be honest with you, it's a little bit time consuming because the early seasons do have a lot of episodes, but it's the kind of show you can just put on and you don't have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So like I recommend watching it if you're ever having a bad day. It's the most like happy, like nothing sad ever in the whole series type of show.
Zoe Deschanel in full quirky mode.
Yeah, and Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson, I think. Yeah,
he's amazing in it. He's like after watching this, I love everything that he does now.
Yeah, no, but going back to what we were saying about the Goldbergs, that's why it plays the 80s nostalgia for me. Like I said, a child of the 80s, that played so much into my 80s nostalgia.
What actually got me drawn to that show is I actually did not know it existed, and ABC shows have been kind of falling off for me because I don't even like Modern Family. I never even watched it, and I watched one episode and didn't like it. You know what episode got me? Weird Al Yankovic. When they did that episode and actually had him, I was like, episode. And I realized that the character of the kid, I was like, he likes all this stuff I liked as a kid, and that's when it starts.
So you literally liked every single thing in the 80s because that's what his character does.
Basically,
that's kind of how it was. I had He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, even GoBots. Like, you know, we could go into like Johnnydonuts knows. We've had this like a brief conversation like this. So.
I agree. And my next wave of shows was another 3 shows that were really close, and Goldbergs was one of them because I just found the Goldbergs at a weird year in my life where like I needed something to like make me feel better, and the Goldbergs was it. The first 4 seasons of that show are so good, like absolute fire. But I started to notice after that they're completely running out of ideas, and some episodes are so out of order. Like it's like 1987, but they're watching 1984 movies. Like they went to watch Return of the Jedi in like 1986.
Well, another thing is I feel like when it really fell off was when the two kids went to college and what's his name broke up with her best friend. I can't think of the characters' names.
Yeah.
When they broke up,
she got her own spin-off.
Yeah, well, I actually tried to watch it.
It's really bad.
But that's my whole point. When she left, I feel like that's when the Goldbergs started falling off. You know what I mean? I feel like they kept together. Yeah.
I agree.
They have a few good points in that show. I think everybody's pretty funny. I mean, you lost the grandpa. What's his name? George Siegel passed.
Yes, he just passed.
So, and then I don't know if you're going to get Shane Top back because he's like heavy doing Smosh right now and like Good Mythical Morning stuff. So I don't know if you're going to get him back on the show if they keep going.
Well, he wasn't a major character, though.
But his character was really good on the show.
No, it was. But I'm just saying he wasn't like, unfortunately.
JTP.
It's one of those JTP. But he's one of those characters that, remember, he even came into the JTP later, remember?
But that's what I'm saying. His character, he's not a main character where I agree with you, but he's good in the show. And he changed the dynamic of the show where it's Barry stopped being the cool one in the group, remember? And it was like we hadn't seen that yet, and it was like so different. It changed everything. And it's funny because he works at Smosh, and the other, his best friend, is married to
the girl on Smosh. I know, right?
So that's really weird, but it's a really good show. It didn't make my list just for the fact that like I still like it now, but I noticed that nostalgia. I noticed that
with a lot of shows in this decade, it's like they start off strong and then they shit the bed.
Well, Modern Family is a really good example of that, and I'm not a huge fan of it either. Like we talked about it before.
Yeah, and Ed O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill.
But I liked him with Mary McChilton.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I
he's
can
great
never
in
think
this
of
show.
anything else.
Him and the gay couple and the husband from the other family are by far the best part of that show. Everyone else is so garbage.
Yeah.
No offense, but like I can't. So
Yeah.
I'll give you my next. This was tied with that. So like my number 5 could have been any of these ones that I'm naming now. After this, it's honorable mentions. Okay.
Yeah.
So I had what was the show we just said?
Goldbergs.
The Goldbergs. I had The League, which is an amazing show about football pool, and it's on the careers of so many guys. Remember the guy me and my brother were talking about before? That's guys from that show. But you had Nick Kroll,
John
Lajoie, who like was a great Canadian comedian who was making underground like rap music, like spoof music, and he took off average in this.
Guy.
Exactly. You have Nick Kroll who took off from the show, and then you had the girl from the show that we talked about. What's it called? Earl. My Name is Earl.
Oh, My Name is Earl. Yes,
she plays the wife. And then there's just like it's a really good show if you like sports and you played sports pools. It's like one of the best shows. And then my other show that's tied with it there is Wilfred. I don't know if you've seen Wilfred.
It's in my honorable mentions.
Wilfred is so good. The Australian version is also good.
I mean, the thing is, that's what I'm trying to ask. Are you just going through the 5s you were going to put on there? Because I have a bunch of honorable mentions. I'm
naming my honorable mentions that are so close to the list right now that they basically made the list.
That's kind of what my honorable mentions were.
So give me a couple. Did you do
like, for example, Last Man on Earth?
Last Man on Earth. I love the first 2 seasons. I never saw anything after that.
Parks and Recreation.
That's on my list.
That was on my 2000s list. That was on my 2000s list as well.
But see, it was that 2009 it came out though.
Yeah, but that was a situation where we were like, it's okay. Like that's what I'm saying. We have a set criteria, but we can be wishy-washy on it.
I get you, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I put them. I figured they're 2010 because most of their seasons were in 2010 and not beyond. You know what I mean? But,
I just put Trailer Park Boys, so
yeah. But see, Trailer Park Boys actually was in 2018 as well. I know that's what I'm saying, but they were actually started like years back. So, like,
But I mean, for the sake of the list, we allowed it. Okay, so I'll give you my 2 other Canadian ones since I'm here. I really like Kim's Convenience.
Not seen it.
I think it's really funny, and I also really like Corner Gas.
See, I never liked Corner Gas.
I don't know. I'm just a sucker because you know what? Corner Gas is like the live action version of Family Guy. It's all flashbacks. Everything is like, remember the time we did this, and it flashes back. Remember this? Yeah. That was literally right now. And the plot falls.
Why are we walking like this?
Why are we walking like this? And the plot falls. Leonardo.
Shout out to the Clerks.
Buddy, it's Clerks, the animated series.
Series. Sorry, I wasn't even paying attention.
When they're remembering everything that happened, that just happened. Remember the time we got locked in the freezer?
Okay.
He's trying to steal all our air.
That show's so good. We should do a whole episode.
I don't know why they canceled this.
Let's do 6 episodes reviewing each episode.
I'm down, 100%.
No, let's do a full review of the whole show.
I'm down.
I'm not doing 6 episodes because I just need to talk about Judge Reinhold and Charles Barkley.
Who's driving? Bear is driving.
Is it safe? Okay. What do you have, JD?
So I have to keep with the David Spade. I have Rules of Engagement on there.
Oh,
I didn't mind that show.
That show ran into 2010 though. I thought it didn't run into 2010.
I think it did. I think it ran up into 12.
Did it? Okay. Well, you did see the last 4 seasons. That's kind of why I didn't put that on there. But I love that show.
The reboot of the Muppets, where it was like The Office.
Yeah.
I think it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's good, but I think I felt like there was some things that were a little broken about it, and it was one of those shows that it was good, but the problem is it missed the mark where people didn't realize what was like. I guess the whole thing was having Miss Piggy having her own show and then Kermit and that relationship. I think a lot of people couldn't get into it, even though I did like it, but it was just so short. Like it just ended so quickly.
Yeah, it got canceled. I added Letterkenny to my list as well.
Letterkenny, I was gonna add to my list. That was the next one I was gonna say for Canadian things. But it's if you like Trailer Park Boys, Putty, it's like Trailer Park Boys but with hockey.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's really like funny.
Yeah, and the other one I added was a couple more. I have are Mike and Molly, and Melissa and Joey.
Molly was all right. What was the last one you said?
Melissa and Joey.
I didn't really like Melissa and Joey.
But you did just make me think of one show that I kind of liked was Two Broke Girls. I kind of
have
liked
Two
it.
Broke
that
Girls
was my
honorable
number.
mention.
That was my number 3.
Two Broke Girls is one of the funnier shows that I would say for sitcoms, but it lost focus after season 3. Once they kind of got what they wanted, it just lost focus of where they were going. Once they got the cupcake thing and everything was running nicely.
Notice a trend here with these 2010 shows.
Yeah,
but I've got a question.
True.
I've got a question for you guys because none of you guys even put in your honorable mentions, but I freaking love the show, so I want to ask you guys' opinion. Why not Big Bang Theory? What did you do that like it?
I have like 20 more honorable mentions, but I'll talk about Big Bang Theory, which is not even on my honorable mentions because it's a terrible show.
It is
really.
A terrible
I love it. I love the humor. I know that they're making fun of nerds.
Once again, season 1 to like 5-ish, 6-ish is pretty good. Season 2, 3, 4 are really good.
But again, those seasons run into the 2010s still, so you know what I mean?
Okay, but either way, those seasons are really good. I'm okay with that. But the last like half of the seasons are the characters become parodies of themselves. It's just retreading the same humor. The relationship between what's his face and what's her face gets so frustrating.
Mayim Bialik and the actor who plays Sheldon there.
All of the relationships in that show just get frustrating, and it's like every 5 episodes someone has a fight and breaks up and then gets back together, and it's just I couldn't stand it. It got to the point where it was playing on TV every day. There were like still to this day, I'm telling you right now, our comedy network on the weekends plays all day long an entire season of
Big Bang Theory
for literally like the last 7 years. Every single
I get it. I can understand if you got sick of it because of that. I don't have that situation over with me. So like when I first saw it, I enjoyed the heck out of it.
You're allowed to like it. It's on your list.
It's on your
list.
That's
why for me, it just got to the point where it was trying to be like other sitcoms and it just wasn't working. It was just dragging out the laugh track. Like it wasn't funny, but like everyone's still laughing at things. And it's like, Sheldon got annoying. I mean, Ruth Rapali is the best part.
Poor guy.
No, for me, that I just couldn't get into that show. Like, I mean, as much as I'm into the geek culture and the nerd culture and all that, and I've always been, that show brings out my inner like hate for them. It's like
it's like the nerds that make you look bad for being a like.
Well, that's what I call those.
Hey guys, look at me! I have this comic book.
When I watched it, I really didn't feel like they were real Star Wars fans. They were more Trekkie fans. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I can understand things, but what made me like it, and
but I love both Star Wars and Star Trek.
I don't like Star Trek. I
love Star Trek. I don't mind it at all.
Next Generation is like one of my favorite shows.
Well, that's the only thing I liked about it. But like everyone sets in stone saying how great the first Star Trek is, and I can go on a big thing about how much I like
the original series is not good. They like it for like the silliness, the campiness of it, like how people like Batman 66.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I agree with you. There is a difference, and I understand what you're saying. It's like, have you ever seen the movie Fanboys when they run into the Trekkies and it's Seth Rogen and like, come on, guys.
That's me. That's who I am. That's I feel like I'm like. But that's the reason why I was able to look over Big Bang Theory, because little things like when they were trapped in the side of the road, all dressed up, and it looked like they were in the sand, just like in the old Next Generation episodes. Little things like that made me really enjoy the.
But these are these. Early season stuff is what you're talking about.
But that's my whole point. Again,
but it ran for so long that it's not even that. It wouldn't have made my list regardless. I'm not trying to poke holes in it. But it's just it started off strong and it fell apart for me. I don't want to spend too much time on Big Bang Theory, but I understand why you like it. It's the same kind of things that you liked out of the Goldbergs. It's that it appeals to you, and I get it. But I just don't find it funny. So I have one on here, a show that ran very shortly. I think it only had 2 seasons. I reviewed it. It's called Swedish Dicks. It's with Peter Stormare and Keanu Reeves is in it. Keanu Reeves is in it for both seasons. And it's really funny.
Did he say dicks?
Yes.
Did he? Okay, all right, just making sure.
It's a detective show, Swedish Dicks.
And their agency, he calls the agency Swedish Dicks, even though the other guy's like, you don't see the problem with that. And by season 2, though, they were pulling in a lot of like big stars as cameos for the people who bring mysteries to them for them to solve. And it's a fun little show, and it gets overlooked a lot. I'm gonna just keep going because I want to get through these. Speaking of Always Sunny. They had 2 spin-offs that are really good. There's the one with Mac called Mythic Quest,
Mythic Quest, yeah.
You can watch that. It's fine. I'm not a huge fan of it. Putty, you'll love it because it's all about nerd and gaming culture.
It's like tabletop gaming too, right? Like D&D and stuff that.
I used to do that all the time.
And but the two shows that came out of Always Sunny that were amazing were the Mick with Caitlin Olsen. That she literally plays Dee from Always Sunny, but like it's like the same character, but in a different scenario. They have a different name and stuff, but it's the exact same character. And it's so funny, and it got canceled after 2 seasons, and they're trying to get a revival for a 3rd season so that they can end it. Because it's so stupidly funny. It's on you don't have Star on Disney Plus, you guys. Oh, it's on Hulu then. It'll be on Hulu.
I have it.
You do, but you won't. Yeah, I'm talking about the Americans. And also AP Bio is so
I've not watched
good.
It, but I want to, and I keep seeing it just because of Pat Oswalt. I want to watch it.
AP Bio, okay. I haven't seen that. I gotta look into that.
It's worth a watch. Season 4 is about to come out. It's so good. It was about to get canceled and it got saved. Also, another show, since I'm just not going to let you guys talk.
Sure.
Happy Endings, which is very similar to like The New Girl. It's a pretty solid show. I had like Alicia Cuthbert and like I can't even think of the names. Damon Wayans. Damon Wayans Jr. left The New Girl to come be on this show, and when this show got canceled, he went back to the New Girl.
Yeah, I remember that. I want to add, going back to Putty with your fascination for Zach Galifianakis. I didn't mind Baskets.
I've actually never seen that.
I've never seen that either.
Yeah. Baskets was not a bad show.
So I got a Zach Galifianakis for you. Speaking of that, because it's on my list, and this was a weird one. I didn't know how to add it because it ran from 2009 till 2011, so it doesn't fall into any decade. Yeah. It's called Bored to Death with Ted Danson, Jason Schwartzman, and Zach Galifianakis, where they start like a detective agency.
Oh my god! Is it called Swedish Dicks?
No, it's called Bored to Death. It's so funny, but it's so dark. It like the comedy is like dark, but it actually like the mystery solving stuff. It's like it's really good. It starts like building up to like a big storyline, and it's worth a watch. It's HBO.
Yeah.
Now, is it okay if I jump in and ask? Because we haven't really jumped on, and I'm afraid we're going to end. We all didn't jump on, like, talking about our number ones. And I know it looked like our number ones had a lot. Like, we all had.
Okay, so wait. Before we do that, then, let me get rid of my last 2 honorable mentions.
Okay.
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
I forgot about that.
I want to watch. I started watching one.
I love
Titus. So girl.
Titus is so funny. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous when he goes lemonading and he dresses like Beyonce and he walks on the street smashing all the windows.
Don't ever bother me while I'm lemonading.
Oh my god, Putty, you have to see that show. It's so worth it. It ends kind of ugly, but the show run is pretty solid. It's like 30 Rock. It's exactly like 30 Rock.
And John Hamm is fantastic in this show.
What made me want to watch it is because I know Netflix did one of those like interactive episodes of hers that I wanted to watch.
They made a movie.
Yeah, and I wanted to watch it, but then I was like, I should watch the season, especially when I
need to watch the show to get that.
Well, the reason I actually want to watch it is because I know Tina Fey's involved with that as well, too. So
she's in a bit of the show too. She plays her therapist.
Yeah, and I'm a huge Tina Fey fan.
She's a producer. Well, why do you think Two Broke Girls is so high on my list?
Yeah.
Well, why do you think Community and 30 Rock is? So.
Okay. Well, anyways, my last show was How I Met Your Mother, which is another show that falls into the categories of super strong beginning of the show. Last 2 seasons are terrible, and it ends god awfully.
I think once the show started focusing on Neil Patrick Harris more than the other characters,
when he stopped being the like background comedy and became the main person of the show and his relationship with Robin and all that stuff, I was like, no, I'm done.
And see, a lot of people said they loved the relationship with Robin and him, and actually that kind of made me feel awkward because I felt like him being that womanizer and her being that whole thing off and on, especially like there were a lot of highlights that were great, especially when Robin, we found out that she was actually a pop singer.
Oh my god, let's go to the mall.
But it was such a great thing. But I didn't actually put him on honorable mentions. Yeah, exactly. Well, see, I didn't put him on honorable mentions because again, there was one of those shows I was like, did it actually run into the 10s?
Yeah, it did. I think it started in like 2009 and it ended in like 2015.
Okay. Yeah. So I kind of wish I would have put it on my list because I do like that show. But
yeah, it's had a solid run. It has a great cast. My biggest problem with that show before we move on is the main guy Ted is the worst fucking possible. Yeah, it's like centering Friends around Ross.
Yeah, it was really bad. Like he was the only thing he didn't like. Like literally, his friends were more entertaining than anything.
How I Met Your Mother is a Friends clone. Okay, and then we got another Friends clone that did it better, which is The New Girl. it did it so much better. It chose to focus the show around Phoebe, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is the funniest thing. And like all the cameos. Anyways, Megan Fox is hot in it. Let's talk about our list.
Now it's okay.
Let's talk about our list.
I'll take Zoe Deschanel over Megan Fox.
I'm gonna take both of them at the same time.
I'll take both of them. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what are we talking about here, guys? This is a show for kids.
Anyway, but yeah, so like, I can't remember what you guys' number ones were again. What were they?
Mine was Sunny.
And mine was Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay, see, I actually wanted to put Brooklyn Nine-Nine higher because I am addicted to that show. But I think the reason I didn't is because there's still that kinship for 30 Rock and Community. And Community is just one of those shows that if I could be like this, there's a stranded island situation, I could take that show with me, never get bored of it. It's just Community. Like, even the last season, people didn't like it. The people didn't like it. Even though the only thing that made me mad was Donald Glover leaving. You know what I mean? But as far as Chevy Chase,
okay. You want to talk about Community?
Well, I mean, they replaced Chevy Chase with what's his name? The guy who plays Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad. There.
Yeah, and I actually like that.
The guy who looks like Robert Englund, but with a bigger nose.
When he took Abed and actually handcuffed him, he said, "You need to," like stuff like that was classic.
Okay, well, let's go. I'm actually a Community expert. I've fully watched Community 3 times now.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
That's why Community's on my list. I would have put it higher, but like I think in terms of quality of show, Schitt's Creek is so well made from beginning to end that I had to put it, like, it's one of the best experiences I've ever had watching a show. Anyways, but Community, the first 3 seasons are arguably the best first 3 seasons of any show ever made in the history of TV. But season 4 is so bad. Season 5 slowly starts to pick it up, and season 6 recovers enough to end the show. But that's what I'm saying.
It was also the gap
one likes
between
season 6. Season 6 is way better than season 5 and 4.
I think it's also the gap between those 3 seasons too that kind of killed it off a little bit too. Because
there was like such a full year gap, isn't there?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, and
then there was a 2-year gap between the last 2.
Yeah, between 5 and 6, and it got revived like 3 times because it was canceled and brought back.
In 4, when they lose Troy, the show suffers terribly.
Yes.
See, I get it. Yeah, it does suffer. And it's just the thing is, because the thing is, he was actually my favorite character. Of course, everyone loves Abed.
Him and Abed are what carries that show. And when you can't have both of them together, it was like, that's only the reason it's a lower on my list. But I will tell you, arguably, the best 3 seasons ever in a sitcom in the first 3 seasons. Like, solid, rock solid. Oh, I've watched them 3 times and I laughed.
That's how good, right?
But Always Sunny is like, I don't even know. I've on Disney Plus, they have the first 8 seasons, and I've probably rewatched it already twice since it's come out on Disney Plus. I've already rewatched the first 8 seasons twice.
Because for me, it's Hulu Plus. It's not on Disney Plus, so it's a little weird to hear that show is on Disney Plus.
Well, there's the movies that are on Disney Plus here are insane. You wouldn't even like
you have the Alien franchise on Disney Plus here.
No, see the most like graphical they have on there is like Wolverine.
Well, it's because we don't have Hulu, right? So our Hulu is split between Crave and Disney Plus.
Makes sense. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Where our all of our Hulu is basically.
Which I'm guessing means you guys got MODOK on Disney Plus too, didn't you?
Yes, okay, but remember I was telling you that, but the way it worked on Disney Plus is it was episodic. It was coming out week by week on Disney Plus.
Me, it actually came
on
out
Hulu, like all at once.
Yeah, which I'm sorry guys, I loved it though.
But okay, so I got Trailer Park Boys at 2, Schitt's Creek. We talked Parks and Rec is number 4. I think that show's amazing.
I've got an honorable mentions.
You had it on your other list.
So I had it on. Same thing with Always Sunny. That's why I didn't make it on these lists.
Eastbound and Down, I think.
That was an honorable mention on my last list too.
Yeah, it's a super memorable show. Like, it's literally like the launching pad for
Danny
McBride. Like, he was already like starting to get popular, but like once he played this role, it was like just straight like skyrocket from there.
Yeah, and his career has taken off from that. Like, like he's become like a writer now, and it's like I think he penned the new Halloween.
He did. He penned all 3. He's also producing all 3.
Now, did you guys have The Office here on mentions or no?
The Office was number 2 on my last list.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was pretty high up there on my last one too.
I don't remember what it was. You're gonna have to watch that episode.
Yeah.
But, I also so Workaholics is tied for me at number 5. Workaholics is maybe not better than the other shows I named at my honorable mentions, but it's so much fun. And it does not have, like, this is a thing I always say on this show, but I love things that there's nothing negative about it. It's all just happy fun time. And it's just like what you want to watch. Like, it's a perfect sitcom. It's just stupid, absolutely stupid. Like,
it's a good time waster.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and also one of the best.
Yeah.
Memorable characters. Adam Devine his career is
that launched his career.
His career. Blake Anderson, I think his name is.
Mm-hmm.
He started to get big, but the guy who played Anders kind of just Anders Holmes, I think his name is. But they did the movie on Netflix, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I never watched
Game Over.
Game Over. That's right.
It was like you're getting those characters back. They played different characters, but they are the same. Like people, like type of characters.
I swear I feel like Cap right now because not knowing the show, I'm just sitting here kind of listening. Like, okay,
it's a Netflix movie. Go watch it.
Yeah. Workaholics was a good show.
No. I'm understand Workaholics, but no, the Netflix. Yeah, the movie.
The movie's on Netflix.
The one I forgot that you mentioned on yours was The League. The League that was another one that started off League is fantastic, and that too started off really, really strong. But I think the gap between the final couple seasons, I think, hurt that show as well.
The last season is like pretty decent. The sixth season is bad. Like the jump from escalating quality from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to 6, and then you're like, what the hell happened to the show? It dives into like stupid where all these weird things are happening, and you're like, this is supposed to be like a grounded show about a football pool. Why is there like magic stuff happening? And then season 7 is just like, it ended it fine.
Yeah, okay. We can all agree that Rafi's the best part of the show.
Oh yeah. Oh, would launch his career, Jason Matsuzakis.
It's just Mantzoukas.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just remember that scene where he's sitting on the toilet. And Nick Kroll's like, "Where'd you get the hot dog? Don't worry about it."
Yeah. Oh, also, let's not forget when he brings his best friend into the episode, Dirty Randy. Seth Rogen.
Yes, Dirty Randy.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. And oh no!
And there's the whole animated. There's the animated episode where him and Dirty Randy go for like a trip.
Yes, there's like a whole little spin-off with them.
Yeah. Well, what's the thing called? The guy Taco develops a thing called My Face. And it's like Facebook, but in real life. So you walk up to people and you like pin messages on them, and it's like, why don't you just talk to them?
EBDB or the EBDB?
Oh, wait, what's the name of the show again? Hold on.
The League.
What about Three Penis Wine?
Three Penis Wine.
Well, the reason I didn't watch it is because I thought it was just all about football, and I'm not a football fan. You know what I mean?
So this is the thing. It's a gateway into unintentionally learning about football.
Okay.
Because it's just a bunch of friends who are in a football pool. They do talk a lot about football pool, but it's mostly like about making fun of each other the whole time. And what's the guy's name who plays Andre?
Yeah, I forgot his name too, but I know.
Oh my god, he's a famous actor. He's in a lot of comedies.
So I don't know if this is.
They always pick on Andre.
But you know how we were kind of bringing up the ones that I might have had a list, or you guys had on your list. I had put number 2 for 30 Rock. Now I don't know if you guys did the other list and you put it on there.
Yeah, 30 Rock was on my other list.
It was number 3 or 4 on my other list.
Yeah, because it's literally the crack for me. And then Tina Fey, like, you know how you do the fuck, marry, kill? I would marry that woman. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just in love with her. You know what I mean?
So you had to do fuck, marry, kill just to marry her? Like,
no. My point is
so what you're saying is you had to murder someone and have sex with a random person in order to marry Tina Fey. You couldn't just marry her.
Well, I'm just saying, put that out there that she's
30 Rock. If you like 30 Rock, you will absolutely love Kimmy Schmidt. It's the exact same show.
Yeah, well, it makes sense because Tina Fey actually created 30 Rock and of course Kimmy Schmidt, so it kind of made sense to me. That's why I wanted to watch it. It's just time constraints. I haven't got to do it yet.
And Jane Krasinski is on it, or what's her name? That's her name, right?
From Glee.
No, is this
from 30 Rock, the girl from 30 Rock.
Oh no, I thought you were thinking about. Oh god,
what's her name's on it too? Carol Kane is fantastic.
Yeah, Carol Kane is really good. The guy who plays Titus is amazing.
Yes, Titus Andromedus.
I'm gonna have to start watching it then.
Yeah, so there's a watch list for you, Putty.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to watch the League, and you got to.
When you watch this video back and give us a view, and you like and comment, you can write down these shows.
Yeah, so there's a list.
I mean, and most of these shows are accessible now. The League will be on Hulu because it's on Disney Plus.
Yep.
The Mick will be on Hulu because it's on Disney Plus. I recommend the Mick. It's only 2 seasons and it's so stupid and funny, and it's just like Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, and I don't know if you guys are aware, but I just want to bring this up since we also brought up the community thing. But I don't know if you're aware, they actually made an English or American version of the It Crowd, and
and it's terrible.
It's terrible.
I was like, "What?" And what's his name from the community from reading on there? And I'm like, "What? How is this so bad?"
As soon as I saw it, as soon as he picked up the phone and said, "Turn off your computer and turn it on again," I hung up.
They did so bad because the one thing I noticed is that when you remember in the original It Crowd when he reaches to go, it looks like he's reaching for the phone, but he grabs his drink. When they took even that little bit out, I'm like, oh, they're missing. They don't realize why.
It was beat for beat everything that happens in that episode.
But it wasn't though, because again, he didn't reach when he reached for the coffee thing. He didn't do that part. He didn't do the part where he looked like he was reaching for the phone, but he was actually reaching for his coffee cup. And they actually took the best part of that scene in my eyes out for the recreation. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Anyways, you want a good show? Take this down, JD. Did you like the IT Crowd?
I like the British version. Okay. Richard Adewale, Chris O'Dowd. That was the better cast.
So, that's one of my favorite shows. If you like that show, Matt Berry, who is also great in What We Do in the Shadows, I also recommend that show. He had Toast of London. Toast of London is so fucking good.
God, yes.
It's and it absolutely is completely like nonsensical. Like there's a musical number in every episode where he sings a song, and it's just like dumb British humor to like the
comedy.
Max.
Yeah,
which is really funny too.
Which I really like British comedies.
You'll love this show then. It's so good.
Which was so great because when he came into the It Crowd and then he replaced what's his name, it actually felt like it made the show a little better. Like I wanted more of the It Crowd because of him going into it.
Oh my god!
Like, I was so mad.
Did you watch Toast of
London?
But
technically, isn't the name of the show the IT Crowd?
I love the Toast of London.
What? Yeah,
technically the IT Crowd, not the
He's
It
American.
Crowd.
Forgive him.
Oh, okay.
He's an actor. He's like a failing actor who used to be famous, and like he does voiceovers, and they bring him to the studio. And he's in there for like a whole minute of the episode, just going, "Yes, again, do it again, yes.
Okay, I need to.
Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know your favorite 2010s comedies in the thingy and who's it. That's Putty. That's the other guy. Thanks for watching.
Johnny Donuts.